in our nation's capital. You took me out and we played pinball games on shiny old machines. You had your quarters rolled, the high score bells just kept on ringing, 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 ringing. I could feel the heat as we stepped out to the street, and the band played way too loud. And I said, hey, 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 I'm never leaving this town. And you say, 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 just kiss me on the Rideau Canal. Hey, hey, what are we supposed to do now? A California dream. I was here at Queen this morning. I got in at 8:30. And you, my pinball king, you stole my heart and made it sing each time you got another replay. I could feel the heat as we rolled across the city like a speeding silver ball. And I said, hey, 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 I'm never leaving this town. And you say, 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 just kiss me on the Rideau Canal. Hey, hey, what are we supposed to do now? What are we supposed to do now? So when this game is done, just start another one. No pinball king, I know you never lose. Lafayette Hotel cast a lonely, longing spell till you said, hey, 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 I'm never leaving this town. And you say, 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 just kiss me on the Rideau Canal. Hey, hey, what are we supposed to do now? 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 So farewell, pinball king, I don't know if I will see you again. Been trying to make some new mistakes, so I've been out looking for you every day. But I'm tongue-tied, oh, I don't understand your ways. So I'll meet you down and out, down in the Mojave. You're just a sick-back kid with a backbone. Sip said we're gonna get free. And I don't know what it is, I don't know where to get it, but it's growing on me. It's growing on me. Ooh. West Coast, baby, I know you wanna go. And if you had up way, I know you never go back home. You gotta keep faith, you know this ain't Hollywood. The desert heat got to us long before I thought it would. You're just a sick back kid with a backbone. Sip said we're gonna get free. And I don't know what it is, I don't know where to get it, but it's growing on me. It's growing on me. Ooh. get your backbone side, come looking for me. 'Cause you're a slick back kid with a backbone sip, and we're gonna get free. And I don't know what it is, I don't know where to get it, but it's going on in me. It's going on in me. Ooh. It's growing on me.
Terra Lightfoot, welcome to The Right Note.
Thank you.
I believe you don't swear. Is this true?
I have never sworn in my life.
Unbelievable. You have the face of an angel who would never swear.
That's very true.
That's very Canadian things. Canadians don't swear.
We do say sorry a lot, so fuck, sorry.
Fuck, sorry. And then you say sorry because you said fuck.
Exactly.
Beautiful people.
Great. Yes, thank you.
Now, you began as a rhythm guitarist. You were encouraged to focus on being a rhythm guitarist.
That is such a nice way to say it. I was encouraged to focus on something else. The way that I think about it, when I look back, is certainly that. It's certainly being pushed in a direction, but I really missed a lot of formative playing as a lead guitar player because I was taught to go down this other road.
There's some value, though, in starting that way, in learning, in a sense, your place in the world rather than the ego that immediately comes from being a lead guitarist.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, too, when I was watching, guys that I went to high school with that would be playing like, mealy, 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 that kind of stuff, but they couldn't play time.
Yeah.
So I think that's where I kind of benefited from that, from being pushed in that rhythm direction. I have better time than I would have if I had been learning the meedly meedlies,
The meedly meedlies.
Yeah.
That's technical talk.
Meedly, 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 meedly.
You guitarists with all your technical talk, it's really, really hard for the rest of us.
It's all just theory, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you felt comfortable enough to move into taking a more prominent role, essentially, you had the basics. Did you feel that you had it in you, or was it one night you were just sitting there and all of a sudden you started middling and?
I think I still feel that way every night. There's still a little bit of uncertainty always, which I think is healthy. But when I first started delving into it, I was playing in my bedroom. There was no confidence. There was no kick down the door. And I've just been lucky enough to be surrounded by musicians who have lifted me up where I couldn't lift myself up. You know what I mean?
It does sound like you lifted yourself up a fair bit, though. I mean, there are people there to encourage you, but the talent has to be there.
Oh, that's nice of you to say.
I didn't say you had the talent. I said the talent has to be there if you're going to do it. I mean, let's not get carried away.
Well, it's like, I think the band creates this platform for me. And especially in our three-piece now. It's really become like a big undertaking to get on stage, just me and a bass player who does a lot. He does a lot on stage too. And our drummer Joel, and we have just this vibe thing. And that gives me a lot of confidence. So I'm not afraid.
Well, I read that you improvised most, if not all, of the solos on New Mistake songs. And I mean, some people we might assume that solos are planned out in the same way that arrangements might be. What's your approach to solos? Is it to feel and let it go, or is it to plan it out mostly? For me,
I have to sort of feel it first and find my place, and then once I do, then I go. Like in Lonesome Eyes, that was a really fun. That was my Freebird moment. But Hold You, we did, me and the producer Werner, who's more the guitar player genius of the two. We sat down and like mapped out that little fun, all the little things, some little chords and things. So we did it a couple of different ways to answer your question.
What's the pleasure? Again, for a non-guitarist, it looks like the peak moment in the song. Though Malcolm Young managed to get through a whole career without having to do that. But what's it feel like in that moment when a solo comes to you and you're on stage maybe and you go somewhere different?
Well, that's what we chase. That's why I think anyone plays music, is that feeling that you're talking about. When it's working and you don't know what it is and you don't know what you're doing and it's just sounding good.
Yeah.
And you're all on the same page. Everybody's happy with what they're doing. And it's not like we don't know the songs. We play them every night. So, but there are those moments, hopefully, each night where everyone's in that. It's just a feeling.
Ever lost yourself in one of those moments and thought, I must get myself a violin bow right now?
Yes. I have not yet. That's actually, I remember how I first ended up like down on my knees playing guitar on stage. I actually don't remember because it was one of those moments. And I sort of like, I woke up, I was talking to a friend of mine, another guitar player from the States, Brandy Zidane. She's awesome. But she was like, man, I've seen a picture of you playing guitar on your knees. I'm like, well, man, you wouldn't believe it, but it just happened. Like, we're playing the Horseshoe Tavern in Toronto. It was sold out. It was crazy. And I just kind of woke up. I was like, what is happening right now? I'm on the ground. And then I had to figure out how to get back up, which was kind of a Spinal Tap moment.
So have you ever ended up on your back playing a solo? Screw me out tonight, I'm going to rock it?
Only because I literally fell. I fell on stage. It was a true Spinal Tap moment. And realized there's nowhere to go. You can't even go down from there. You're at the bottom, really. So.
But I mean, did anyone know? Or did you do it gracefully and this is meant to happen?
See, for me, I don't feel like it was graceful, but others didn't notice, including my band. So I think it was good. I didn't do the like the Christopher Guest, like the get up kind of thing,
right,
where you slowly limbo. I didn't do that. But there's no telling what's going to happen on this next Australian tour.
There's just madness in the center of your life, really, on stage, and could go anywhere.
Yeah, like leather pants. Anything could happen. I'm only thinking about Spinal Tap now.
Right.
Sorry.
Because now you got me thinking about leather pants, and no one should ever be in leather pants.
No one should.
Now, today you've played Charlotte, I believe.
Yes.
Is her name.
Charlotte guitar. Yeah.
Charlotte guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But your partner in crime often is the Gibson SG, whose name is
Veronica.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've had Veronica for about 15 years, I think.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Was she always Veronica, or did she come to earn that name?
No, she always was.
What was it about that Gibson that said Veronica to you?
She's kind of swarthy. She's, kind of dark, a little rude, gritty. Yeah, that's Veronica to me.
Right.
Black hair, unfair, sort of.
Okay.
Betty and Veronica.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Charlotte, where did Charlotte come from?
Charlotte, I think, is just a pretty name. And that is a beautiful guitar to me.
Mm-hmm. So you name all your guitars?
Most of them. I've just received another one, an acoustic actually, handcrafted from scratch by a woman named Ashley Leanne. She's in Canada. But she built me this custom guitar. And my middle name is Ashley, and her name is Ashley. And so that guitar got its own name.
I see.
We named it together.
Beautiful.
It's called Ashley. Surprisingly.
You're surprised, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Veronica seems to be about as adaptable as you are. She and you seem as comfortable whacking on a bit of Mark Bolan in Stars Over Dakota as sort of laying back in You Get High. And in fact, getting out of the way altogether at 3 a.m. Setting aside Veronica, how adaptable are you really? Are you? I mean, you started playing fairly low-key, sort of folkish rock, at least on the first album, and you've moved through the stages. How comfortable are you in all of those modes, or are you at your best or your most comfortable when you're on your back playing a guitar solo?
You're going to kill me with that.
It's never going away.
It's never going away. Thank you, Iowa. I think what I've realized, and only since I've started doing music for a living and people have started asking me questions about my musical upbringing, I realized that I'm sort of like like you know the Slumdog Millionaire, when you go back through his life and he learned all these different things, doing different, you know, with different people. That's how my musical upbringing was.
Right.
So for some reason, as a kid, I would travel to places, people's houses by myself all the time. You know, my parents were very attentive, but I ended up in these strange, you know, like when I went swimming with my friends when I was 11, all my girlfriends had a pool party, and I'm in the basement playing guitar with like somebody's dad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Nothing weird about that at all.
No.
It's
but
Canada. Nobody does.
It's Canada. No, but you know, it's just I was always in that other place or learning jazz, playing jazz bass in the high school band, playing classical piano. You know, I kind of did everything. So to me now, I'm just playing guitar music.
You, not just guitar music. I mean, you've recorded with an orchestra.
Mm.
You played sort of fairly minimal, and you've got a power trio now.
Yes.
What's the best parts of each of those?
Well, I think the coolest thing for me has been when I can strip everything away and it's just a song, because that's ultimately all that anybody's attempting to leave behind is just songs, right? If people want to cover them or...
And the image of you in leather pants.
Of course, thank you. I will never forget that either. This is the best. I think, like, for example, we did a show a little while ago in Hamilton with the orchestra, like a different setup. And for that arrangement, I asked to do 3 in the morning without any guitar. No keyboard, just strings.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so cool to hear it and to let them, you know, cue me on my own song. That was rad. Part of me doesn't even want to sing when I'm listening to the orchestra. I just want to hear them, you know. It's really something. That's another feeling that's completely unlike. It's just very surreal.
That swell of the surge of an orchestra coming up behind you must be a thrill as a vocalist, just to know that you're carried on that huge bed.
It's kind of like being carried on a wave in some ways. It's just so beautiful, but it does overtake you sometimes. So often, I've done them a couple times, but each time in rehearsal, I have to take a break usually during at least one of the songs because it's emotional. It's heavy. It's really, really heavy to have those musicians, because they're classical musicians are trained and pro.
Yeah.
You know, but the last ones we had were fun. We drank beers with them backstage, and they partied with us. That was
Orchestra
cool.
drinking beer.
Yeah.
You've corrupted another batch.
Yeah.
Now, this is your second trip to Australia in about a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you're aware, but we do have a habit of appropriating people from other Commonwealth countries if they do well. It's usually New Zealanders, but we're quite prepared to take Canadians if we get them.
You're open to us.
Very open to you, as long as you're successful. We're not interested in moderate or losers.
Okay.
So we will claim you. But there are a couple of requirements. And
Leather pants.
leather pants, yeah. There's one, though, which our Prime Minister failed just recently. And that is, do you know the words to You're the Voice?
No.
You don't. I can help you. I have them
I'm
here.
so sad right now. I'm so depressed. It's all over.
Well, it's not all over. There's still a chance. I have them here. I can give them to you, and you can take them away. And at some point during this tour, I'd like you to contribute to Australia's great cultural history.
Okay.
So we can claim you.
Okay.
Right. So
I'm interested.
But I'll just let you know, it starts, we have the chance to turn the pages over. We can write what we want to write. Could there be any more inspiring?
It's very inspiring. I'm being inspired right now. This is one of those moments.
It is. Terra Lightfoot, thank you very much.
Thank you.